All right, pharmacy techs. This is the second example of a pharmacy technician resume that I promised. So this one looks a little bit different than the last one. Not everyone is a big fan of color, and that's totally okay. So I did use color on this one. I did use black and navy blue, but it's less vibrant than that green one that I showed you. So this one is an example of where you see that the contact information is centered, but the format in regards to the layout of the rest of it is pretty similar. So let me zoom in and we can work our way through this one. So again, first and last name, we are going to assume that you did pass those board exams. So you want to add your credential next to your name. You want to, now that you have a LinkedIn URL, you want to add your LinkedIn URL. Make sure your phone number is accurate, double check that. Make sure your email is accurate, double check that. Whatever email you are going to use for your job search, make sure you use that. Make sure it's professional. At the very top, you want to make sure that it's clear as day what type of job you're applying to. So this resume is a little bit different. This has a professional branding statement as well as a couple of top accomplishments. So let's look at this. Recognized for ability to effectively dispense and package descriptions with utmost accuracy. Provides superb customer service, ensuring client retention and loyalty. So this might be an example of a targeted resume for a job that you're applying to online, that this job description specifically stated that they want somebody with great customer service to improve client retention and loyalty. This is how you would target a resume, by adding in a keyword or phrase that the job description is specifically asking for. So the lines look a little bit different. There is the thicker line here, but I also made the thicker line there. And again, all you have to do is go to the paragraph section on Microsoft Word, go to borders, and then the bottom border. And then if you want it thicker, borders and shadings, change the color, change the width. So on the last resume we looked at, I had 4 accomplishments. On this one, I only did 2 because we have that professional branding statement up here. So licensed pharmacy technician 2021. So that would be like when you pass your board. So change the date on that to whenever it's actually applicable to you. Training has included 4 weeks of practice and clinical externship, as well as training in state-of-the-art pharmacy laboratory. Whatever type of hands-on training that you did, you wanna make that relevant to you. So whatever it is that applies to you, change it to you. So here's an example of where education and certifications are grouped together. So let me zoom out. So see how that's visually a lot of information? The goal of a resume is to keep it so that you can skim quickly. It's difficult to skim quickly when everything's all together. So I'm going to cut that information and I am going to then paste it right here. So to add in that underline, bottom underline, and look at the difference between when there's an underline and when there's not. When there's not an underline, it all kind of mushes together. But when there's an underline, there's a visual element that breaks up the different sections of your resume to make it quicker and easier for you to scan your resume. And that's the goal. You want somebody to get all of the important information that they need. So whatever certifications you have, you want them up here. You want the dates that you achieved them on. So make sure you tweak that. Your education. So maybe you only want to put your related coursework on this one. That's fine. Wherever you got your high school diploma or your equivalent, do that. Maybe you didn't participate in any extracurricular activities. You can take that off. Maybe you did. So maybe you were something. So if you have something here on extracurricular activities, or you can take it off. So maybe you were a classroom leader. You could put that down to show your leadership abilities. And maybe you don't have anything relevant with your high school equivalency. So let's do high school equivalency, right? So I butchered that. Thank God for spell check, right? All right, so see how I just put equivalency instead of diploma and the May 2020 came down to the next page, all you have to do is click backspace and bring it up to the line. So when you're editing this template, all you have to do is use the space bar, the backspace bar, and it'll get you to where you need to be. So you make the information relevant to you. So related experience. So say you did an internship at CVS Pharmacy. So assisted pharmacist with fax prescriptions, inventory ordering and restocking, perform troubleshooting for clients with insurance issues to resolve problems. You want to make sure that you reread your resume multiple times or have somebody else reread your resume to proofread it. And when you're showing somebody your resume, you need to be specific about what your ask is. So email it to one of your teachers and say, can you proofread this for grammatical errors? Something that I download on my computer is called Grammarly, and it typically catches that kind of stuff in addition to spell check. But you can't really trust spell check because a lot of words are actually actual words, but they're not used correctly in context. So perform troubleshooting with clients with insurance issues to resolve problems. So little things like that can make a difference on your resume. So that's your related experience, right? That's where you got hands-on training as a pharmacy technician trainee. So pharmacy technician trainee. But what about additional experience? Have you ever worked before? If not, you don't have to put anything. If you have, you probably want to show that you have some type of previous work experience. Now, if you're a job hopper and have tons of different jobs, you don't want to put all of them. You don't want to set yourself up to look unreliable. Remember, a resume is a professional marketing document. You don't have to put everything you've ever done on your resume. You do not want to do that. Now, your application is a legal document. Oftentimes, your application is going to ask you for your last 3 jobs. Go ahead and put that. But on your resume, you don't need to have that information. So maybe what job are you working right now? So maybe you work at McDonald's. So maybe at McDonald's, you're flipping burgers or you're sweeping floors or you're working the register, whatever it may be. The pharmacy isn't going to care about that. The pharmacy is going to want to know what transferable skills you have that you learned at that job that can relate to the job you're going after. So collaborated with team to ensure smooth operation of business. If you're working anywhere for the most part, you're going to be working with a team. That's relevant. Maintain high standards for food quality by meeting all ServSafe requirements. So you're going to have a lot of requirements, legal requirements that you have in pharmacy tech. So saying that you have high standards for food quality and meeting that ServSafe requirements for serving food, that's going to be something that can be a transferable skills into the pharmacy technician industry. So anything else that you can't transfer over to the pharmacy industry, don't add. Now, again, with this, the interest section, you don't have to have an interest section, but you can if you want to. This can be the area where you can show a little bit about your personality, or you can show like volunteer experience and things like that. So on this example, I used some more personal things. So foods that are vehicle for hot sauce. So that's kind of just catchy, right? That's going to make you stand out compared to the next person. Chicago sports, go Cubs, and the LA Lakers. Training dogs. So is it at all relatable to pharmacy tech? Nope, not at all. I typically would say keep it off, but we're in a pandemic and it's a very competitive market out there. So you want to try to find a way to stand out. That's one of the reasons why we use color. That's one of the reasons why we need to make sure that your resume content is as strong as possible. But that's also one of the reasons why we might consider adding an interest section to show a little bit about your personality. And then down here, I just added the logo for the license for pharmacy tech. So this is just showing that you have your pharmacy tech license, and I put it down at the bottom. Remember, on the other resume, I had it up at the top. This one is fine down at the bottom too. So basically, that just kind of draws your eye down to the bottom of the page. So if you have something really important down here that you want them to see, that's the way to do it. Because remember, people skim resumes from left to right. Sometimes when they get down to that bottom of the page, they don't even skim right. But if you have something like this down there, then they might take a further look. So this is all just personal preference. This is pharmacy technician resume example number 2. Hopefully this will give you a baseline on how to get your resume started. When it comes to your individual experience, I am here to help you word that content, but at least now you have 2 different resume templates to kind of give you some ideas on how to write your resume. Good luck, guys.